Welcome to the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting for April 29th. On this committee are myself, Grant Burke, the chair, Councillors Thiessen, Bressie, and Mayor Clayton. If I could get a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Thiessen.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
And that is in order. Call the question.
Thiessen in favor.
And that passes unanimously. We don't have any delegations, so reports. Chief Whiteway, service area update.
Thank you, Chair Burke. So a quick update from the service area. Financial management team are preparing the 2025 first quarter unaudited financial statements and information. This should be coming forward to committee in the month of May. In addition to that, the team is beginning budget prep and will be starting budget preparation in the month of May as well with the organization. Tax and assessment is working on having everything in place for the generation and printing of tax notices. Later in the agenda, Mr. Smith will provide the 2025 property tax bylaw. Procurement and supply chain management has a number of bids on the market. A few examples: the community garden project, baseball dugouts, tree, shrub, and perennial supply, electrical services for Borstad Hill, supply of janitorial products, supply of roadway dust control, bridge repair and maintenance, pest control services, and road rehabilitation phase 5. To access any bids, visit the city's website and follow the links to bidding opportunities. A reminder, the annual spring bike auction is underway and will be closing on May 1st. Please visit govdeals.ca to place your bid. There are over 100 bikes available. And finally, the IT team has been busy managing cybersecurity responses over the last few weeks, and just encouraging and reminding staff to stay vigilant and exercise caution. And additionally, the GIS team has completed the development of online mapping solutions and venue tracking apps for the Special Olympics. And that does complete my update today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whiteway. Any questions from committee? No. All right, so moving on to 4.2, the 2025 property tax bylaw. Chief Whiteway, or directly to Mr. Smith?
Thanks, Chair Berg. I will just let Mr. Smith take this one on. Thank you.
So thank you, Chair Berg. So before you today is the 2025 tax rate bylaw.
Mr. Smith, you want to move your mic a little closer?
Sorry.
Thanks.
On November 15th, 2024, Council approved a 2.28% tax increase for 2025, and that's the scenario that is before you today. So the municipal tax base will be increasing by 2.28% to generate $134.6 million, which will be used to provide municipal services. Just speaking to the assessment base, the residential assessment base has increased due to the new assessments that were produced to reflect the July 1st, 2024 market valuation. An average residential property has increased approximately 5.85% in market value. However, the commercial tax base has been reduced by approximately 1.4% due to the new assessments. Of course, the tax rates have been adjusted to account for any change in market values. As reported in the recent provincial budget, education tax requisition for the province is increasing from $2.74 billion to $3.12 billion, which is an increase of 14%. The City of Grande Prairie's share is increasing from $30.1 million to $32.8 million, which is a 9% increase. So when combined with the municipal increase of 2.28%, an average property owner will now see an overall tax increase of approximately 3.64%, which is approximately $152. The breakdown of that $152 increase would be $75 due to the municipal tax increase, $75 due to the education tax increase, and $2 for the Grand Spirit tax increase. Tax notices are scheduled to be mailed a little earlier this year due to the possible upcoming postal strike, which could begin on May 22nd. We're hoping to have notices in the mail as early as May 13th, and the due date will be, of course, June 30th. Included with the report are the attachments of the impacts of a typical residential and commercial property, as well as the overall assessment and tax impacts to the entire base. I believe that is all, Mr. Chair, and with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, Councillor Bressie.
Great, thank you. Can you just repeat, the three numbers about the average dollar increase for municipal, provincial, Grande Prairie? Can you just repeat those three numbers for me?
So the 75, 75, and 2? So 75, so the increase, $152 will be the average, what the average property will see as an increase overall. So of that $152, 75 would be due to the municipal tax increase of 2.28%, $75 for the education tax increase of the 9%, and then $2 additional for the Grand Spirit tax increase.
Excellent, thank you.
Any other questions? Since we're repeating numbers, Mr. Smith, I actually, the one that I want you to stress too is the percentage of the tax bill for residential. What percentage of that is the school education tax?
So a typical property, Mr. Chair, will see about 20% of their bill will go towards education tax. A small portion goes towards Grand Spirit, and the remainder would be municipal.
Yeah, okay. So that was, again, one of the things that I just wanted to stress, that when people get their tax bill, not all of that goes to the city. Roughly 21% is for education, which makes perfect sense because we have growth and we're adding schools and teachers. So I just wanted to stress that. Councillor Bressie.
Great, thank you. My apologies for bringing out a little soapbox, but just pet peeve of mine and an encouragement I give my colleagues is we shouldn't be calling that an education property taxes. We've had years where we've seen the so-called education levy go up, but that hasn't been passed on to education funding in the province. This year it is, so I'll acknowledge that, but in past years it has gone up without requisite increases, and so it really is just a provincial property tax that goes to provincial revenues and isn't actually tied to kids necessarily getting a better education. And I would be a lot more enthusiastic about it if it truly was not a general revenue instrument and truly was connected to education costs, but in many years it's not. So I just would respectfully suggest maybe we should call it the provincial property tax and never use the term the education property tax.
Thank you, Councillor Bressie. Okay, no other questions?
Well, I'm happy to get off my soapbox and do business if you would like, Chair Berg.
Sure, of course.
I move that council give 3 readings property tax bylaw C 1486.
And that is in order. I'll call the question. And that carries unanimously. 4.3, the bylaw C 1478. It's a borrowing bylaw for the Montrose Cultural Centre. Chief Whiteway.
Thank you, Chair Berg. So the recommendation this morning is that committee recommend council give first reading to bylaw C 1478 as presented. This borrowing bylaw will support the 2024 mid-year capital request for a Montrose Cultural Centre deficiencies project that was identified and brought forward to council for approval. The MCC remediation project addresses deficiencies from the original construction, and it is currently underway. Phase 1, with funding for phases 2 and 3 to be incorporated from the previously approved request. So phase 2 will focus on the library's electrical system, lighting, and building envelope, and is projected for completion this year. Phase 3, which addresses the art gallery's building envelope, ventilation system, entries to Sergeant Hall's structural floor, is projected for completion in 2027. The required borrowing to fund both Phase 2 and 3 is $3.347 million. And a project of this magnitude with a long useful life has been recommended as debt funded, and the annual debt payments will be estimated and incorporated into future budgets. It is expected this to be repaid over a 25-year term. As of the end of 2024, the city was well within their remaining debt policy as per that's covered under policy 350. The total loan amount and estimated interest have been included in the report today. And I will just conclude that administration does recommend proceeding with a borrowing bylaw of $3.347 million over 25 years to fund the remainder of the project. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief Whiteway. Any questions? No, I just have one, and it's probably for the CAO. This work that we're doing is essential, correct? It's not an option at this point?
Thank you, Chair Berg. That's correct. For us to continue to use this facility for the next 25 years, it's essential that we begin this work or continue this work this year in phases 2 and 3.
Yeah, and one comment that I'll speak to is around the art gallery and the building envelope. In order to maintain its Category A status, which is the highest status of any art gallery or museum in Canada that we can achieve, this work has to be done. Otherwise, we start sacrificing exhibitions as well. But again, I also understand there's a lot of critical infrastructure stability work that needs to be completed. And with that, Councillor Thiessen.
Mr. Berg, Chair Berg, just a question in regards to the cost. Is there a way, or maybe I missed it in the report, separating out the actual cost versus the interest? Do we know how much? Like, I know the total is 3.347 million, but how much is the actual cost of the work minus the interest?
Chief Whiteway.
Thank you for the question. I'd have to run that and just send it out to you via email. I don't have that ran. So we set our annual payments so that we can maintain that. So the interest amounts are going to change every year as you decline through your 25-year period. So what I can do is run you an estimated sort of amortization of what will end up being interest versus principal, like what the end interest costs will be for the city.
Okay. Yeah, but we don't know how much the actual cost is. Originally, I thought it was like a $2 million fix for the building, but
okay. I misunderstood your question. Pardon me. 3.347 is the estimated on the phase 2 and 3. On the phase 1, I will get I'll have to go grab that additional amount on the phase 1.
Okay, and then just my final question. Why did we choose to go this route with debt versus taking from one of our reserves, like facility renewal?
Chief Whiteway.
Thank you. With the longevity of this type of remediation project, it seemed to be best suited to fund via debt, and then that way, for the rest of the useful life of the building, we'll have those associated costs. We really didn't have available funding source for that dollar amount when we looked at our entire capital budget together. And as it was previously discussed, this really is a required remediation project. So we thought spreading it over the remaining useful life, the cost being spread over the remaining useful life, was a fair approach for the tax base.
Okay. Yeah. No. And just maybe for my own, I'm not sure I speak for council, but I'd love to see that breakdown of interest versus the principal payments sent via email. If there's no other questions, Chair Berg, I could do some business.
Please proceed.
I would move that committee recommend council give first reading to Bylaw C-1476 as presented.
78, I believe. Okay.
78. Sorry, I went cross-eyed.
That's fine, and that is in order. Call the question.
Pressing in favor.
And that carries unanimously. Moving on, no correspondence or other business, no bylaw or policy review. So outstanding items, Chief Whiteway.
Thank you, Chair Berg. No changes to the outstanding items list as presented.
Councillor Bress, you want to make a motion?
I am happy to move that we receive the outstanding items list as presented.
And that's in order. Call the question. And that too carries unanimously. And with that, I call the Financial Administrative Services Committee meeting for April 29th adjourned.